Okay, you guys, I am super excited because we are going to be reviewing the subjunctive. Just when you thought you were done with it, you realize that you will never be done with it because the subjunctive will stay with you forever. But that's okay because as long as you remember the very specific rules that go along with the subjunctive, you will be fine. And hopefully, this will be a really easy review. So, general requirements for the subjunctive. Remember that you almost always have to have two clauses, which means you have to have two subjects and two verbs. For example, if I said I want to eat breakfast, then I would say yo quiero comer desayuno. I only have one subject. I want to eat. So we use the full infinitive. Yo quiero comer desayuno. But if I say I want you to eat breakfast, then I would say yo quiero que tú, and then I have to use a subjunctive, comas desayuno, and that's because I have two subjects. So I want, you eat, subjunctive. Okay, the other requirement for the subjunctive is that you have to have a trigger, and we're going to be reviewing in just a couple of minutes what those triggers are. But first, let's talk about how you form the subjunctive. Hopefully this will be a very easy review. Remember, you have to go to the yo, drop the o, and add the opposite ending. So the yo for hablar is hablo, opposite ending is the e ending, so the yo would be hable, tú hables, él, ella, usted hable, nosotros hablemos, ellos, ellas, ustedes hablen. For poner, the yo is pongo, drop the o, add the opposite ending. The opposite ending for er verbs is the a. So yo ponga, tú pongas, él, ella, usted ponga, nosotros pongamos, y ellos, ellas, ustedes pongan. For vivir, the yo is vivo, drop the o at the opposite ending. The opposite ending for ir verbs is also a. So viva, tú vivas, él, ella, usted viva, nosotros vivamos, y ellos, ellas, ustedes vivan. Remember that the yo and the él, ella, usted forms in the subjunctive is always the same. So when you're writing your sentence, when you get to the subject, if it is a yo, you'll probably want to write yo. And if it's él or ella, usted, you'll probably want to write that because otherwise it can be confusing. Okay, a couple things to remember. We have cargar zar. So remember, car is going to change to Q-U-E because we need to keep the k sound. So the yo is going to be busque, tú busques, él, ella, usted busque, nosotros busquemos, y ellos, ellas, ustedes busquen. For juzgar, which you should hopefully recognize from the verb or from the noun juez, juzgar means to judge. So it goes to the opposite ending, which is the e ending, and you have to change it to G-U-E to keep the g sound. So juzgue, tú juzgues, él, ella, usted juzgue, nosotros juzguemos, y ellos, ellas, ustedes juzguen. For cruzar, cargar zar, the zar changes to ce, so the yo cruce, tú cruces, él, ella, usted cruce, nosotros crucemos, ellos, ellas, ustedes crucen. Okay, a couple other things to remember. Stem changing verbs. Contar is a stem changer. In the regular yo present tense, it's cuento. So in the opposite ending, it would be cuente, tú cuentes, él, ella, usted cuente. In the nosotros, we are not going to stem change for AR or ER verbs. So just contemos. And then ellos, ellas, ustedes cuenten. Okay, for preferir, it's an IR verb. So it stem changes a little differently. The yo in the regular present tense is prefiero. So the opposite ending would be prefiera, tú prefieras, él, ella, usted prefiera. Nosotros, it does stem change, but only to I. So prefiramos, y ellos, ellas, ustedes prefieran. For dormir, the yo is duermo. Drop the o at the opposite ending, becomes duerma. Tú duermas, él, ella, usted duerma. It is going to stem change in nosotros, but only to you. So durmamos, y then ellos, ellas, ustedes duerman. So AR, ER verbs, no stem change. IR verbs do stem change in nosotros, but only to I or to you. These verbs are not irregular, but I just want to remind you what the yo form is. For construir, the yo is construyo with a y. So when you go to the opposite ending, it would be construya, construyas, construya, construyamos, construyan. All of them have a y. And then elegir is a stem changing verb. So it's eli, and then it has to change to a j because the yo is elijo with a j, and then opposite ending would be elija. Elijas, elija, elijamos, elijan. So again, they're not irregular, but I just wanted to remind you what the yo is so that you can do the subjunctive. Almost all UIR verbs are like this, and almost all GIR and GER verbs are like this. Okay, the last thing to remember, all of those verbs that we just did are considered regular verbs. These are the only 5 verbs that are irregular. So stem changing and spell changing verbs are still considered regular because you have to go to the yo. But with these 5, you can't go to the yo because the yo doesn't end in O. So for dar in the subjunctive, it's going to be de with an accent, des, de with an accent, demos, and den. For estar, it's going to be este, accent, estes, accent, este, accent, estemos, no acento, and esten, accent. For ear, completely irregular, vaya, vayas, vaya, vayamos, and vayan. For saber, sepa, sepas, sepa, sepamos, sepan. And for ser, sea, seas, sea, seamos, sean. Okay, that's everything you know about how to form the subjunctive. Everything you need to know about how to form the subjunctive, and hopefully what you already know as well. Okay, so now we're going to talk about when to use the subjunctive. And hopefully you remember this acronym from last year, wedding. And each of these is a different trigger. So the first one is will. So remember, this is exerting your will or influence over somebody. So wanting, needing, desiring somebody to do something. And there's a ton of verbs in this category. We're going to review them in class. But one of them is querer que. So quiero que, I'm exerting my will or influence. I want you all to study. So this is a trigger. I have to use a subjunctive. So quiero que ustedes estudien would be the opposite ending. The E stands for emotion. So verbs of emotion such as me alegro de que, I am happy that. You all look for my cat. So opposite ending has to go to QUE because it's cargarzar, busquen. The first D stands for doubt. So if you have statements or verbs of doubt, you're going to use the subjunctive. For example, dudar que. So dudo que, I doubt that you know. And if you know me, then you know that CT stands for Channing Tatum. So I doubt that you know Channing Tatum. The yo for conocer is conozco. Drop the O, add the opposite ending would be conozcas for two. The second D, hopefully you remember, it stands for don't be fooled. This is the false subjunctive. These are things that look like they should be subjunctive, but they actually are not because they mean certainty. So generally with the subjunctive, there has to be some type of indication that it's not reality. So since this is reality, it's not subjunctive. So es cierto que, Channing Tatum, is handsome. So it's gonna not be subjunctive. It's just gonna be the regular indicative. Es cierto que Channing Tatum es guapo. Okay, the I stands for indefinite. So if you're looking for something or if you're needing something and you don't know if it exists or not, then you have to use a subjunctive. So busco un amigo que. I'm looking for a friend who has a unicorn. And I'm looking for them. I don't know if they exist. Therefore, I have to use a subjunctive. The O is tango. Drop the O at the opposite ending, tanga. The N stands for negative. So if we know for certain that something does not exist, then we also have to use subjunctive. So there is not a single person who can have a unicorn. That no person exists that can have a unicorn. Therefore, I have to use a subjunctive. So the yo is puedo. Drop the O at the opposite ending, and it would be pueda. And then finally, the easiest one, general statements. Anything that is es adjective que, as bueno que, as malo que, as necesario que, es adjective que, except for these ones here, is going to be the subjunctive. So es importante que yo recibo would be the yo. Drop the O, add the opposite ending, so it would be reciba muchos regalos. It's important that I receive many gifts. So if you have any questions, let me know. We're going to be spending a lot of time on this, and I am super excited. Thanks.